were on the back patio with Gallagher.
Yes.
You decided to get romantic.
No.
You all were going to engage in sex or wanted some privacy?
No.
Didn't want any privacy?
There was no sex involved in outdoors. We were listening to the radio, cleaning up, and it was dark. Instead of having the lights come on every single time you moved, they would stay on for a certain amount of time, and then they would shut off. So instead of having the lights blinking on and off while we were out there,
so it was an annoyance to you to have the blinking lights on?
it didn't bother me. It was a request from Gowker.
Did he ask you to disconnect the motion lights?
He disconnected the motion lights.
Okay. He said it was a request by Gallagher.
Yes, a conversation.
Oh, he just said, "Do you mind if I turn the motion lights
yes.
on?" And he turned the two in the back
Yes.
on so that if somebody came out, it would set the lights on in the back.
So that we wouldn't continue to set them off and turn.
Any movement would have
Yes.
set them off. And so you were trying to eliminate that.
He was trying to eliminate that.
Okay, he was trying to eliminate that. And then how did the lights and when did the lights get reconnected?
The lights were never turned back on
So they
in
were
the
always
back
off
from
after
that point on.
Okay, and you said you didn't have much contact with Joshua Young.
No.
You only spent the night twice.
I can recall one time spending the night. There could have been a second.
Could have been a second. And the night you remember he slept on the couch. The other times he was at the house, he was playing video games with Trey.
The one time on Christmas Eve that you've seen, they both received video place. One got a PlayStation, one got an Xbox.
So all the time that Joshua was in the neighborhood, he only played video games with Trey once.
That one time is the only one that I can say he was there for.
And you said you have observations that you made about Trey, about Joshua Young.
Yes.
And those were observations that you made in the house,
No.
in the neighborhood.
Yes.
And how many times did you get to see Joshua Young in the neighborhood?
It's not necessarily the neighborhood. It's like this. My son had a phone. He would ask to use it. Or Young would ask to borrow Trey's phone. He would try and keep it in his possession from there on out. It wasn't his phone. He wasn't allowed to have it. Repeatedly, I had to make Trey make sure he had possession of his phone. I paid for the phone. I paid for the bill. It was my son's. It needed to stay with my son.
You wanted Trey to have the
His phone. Yes,
but
that was.
Trey let Joshua have the phone.
He didn't let him have it. He told me, Mom, he won't give it back to me. His dad told him that he needs to keep my phone.
Okay, did this happen one time?
No, multiple times.
Okay. And you said something about vandalism. What do you know about vandalism?
Conversations. And I'm not at liberty to say.
Judge, may I interject? We have told her not to touch on certain subjects, and without the jury here, I think it would be my motion that she be allowed to speak freely.
You may speak freely. You're under oath. Answer the questions truthfully and completely.
Josh Young was over my house one evening while his dad's phone was charging, laying on the couch. I was in the bathtub. The bathroom is right next to the living room. You can hear any conversation held in the living room. So, as I was laying in my bubble bath, Josh Young is laying on my couch talking to his girlfriend on the phone. Trey knocks on the bathroom door. Mom, can I get in there? How much longer? As he walks back in front of the couch, Young starts laughing. Hey, Trey, guess what I did? I stabbed the dog in the neighborhood in the nose. Isn't that funny? No, man, that's sick.
I asked you about vandalism.
Well, that was vandalism to me. He's vandalizing my neighbor's dogs. Or terrorizing. How about that word?
I was asking about vandalism, which means
Well,
tearing up property. So maybe, are you saying that he vandalized property? Or
I'm saying he vandalized the dog.
And the dog's name was?
I don't know the dog. I'm only repeating the conversation that I heard come out of that kid's mouth. That kid, Josh Young.
Weren't you concerned about it?
And I had a conversation with
Excuse
his
me, ma'am.
father.
Weren't you concerned about him stabbing the dog?
Yes, I was very concerned.
Was it the next door neighbor's dog?
I don't know whose dog it was.
You didn't follow up or do any
Yes, I did.
investigation?
I did.
You didn't find out who the
No.
dog owner was? Did
No.
you ask neighbors if they knew anything about
I
it?
did.
Nobody knew anything
No.
about it? Did you know your dog's name that you had?
I don't recall the dog's name anymore. It's been over 2 years. It was a puppy. We only had it for a very short time. It was my son's dog. He paid for it with his money.
Did you ever know the dog's name?
Yes, I did.
When did
when we had the puppy. Like I said, we had it for a very short amount of time. It was a puppy.
And do you remember when the detectives on the 19th asked you if you knew the dog's name and you didn't know the dog's name then?
I forgot the dog's name. We had it for a very short time.
Okay, that's all, thank you.
Would the Commonwealth care to ask any questions on Val?
No, but we would not object to that being provided to the jury if that's what Mr. Schuler wanted.
Declined. Okay.
They're making a joke, I assume.
No,
We're not.
We're not. I think all of that is relevant, and he wanted to ask questions. We are not for the record, we are not objecting to that being provided to the jury. He asked if he could ask questions.
Because we were not in front of the jury, I took the opportunity of asking her questions that I would not ask in front of the jury.
So the
So
avowal.
the defense does not care to have those questions and that testimony presented to the jury?
We will withdraw the avowal if the court is going to.
No, I'm not asking you to withdraw the avowal. And the purpose of an avowal is to preserve testimony for appellate review. That's what we've done.
Right, and I think that that's what we're doing.
Okay.
The court has already ruled it's not.
There's no request from the defense to present this avowal testimony to the jury in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I am not asking the court that at this point in time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. May we release this witness?
We may want to recall her depending on what the evidence is. Hang on just one second.
Our same objection from last time.
We would agree that she could stay in the courtroom, but we would like to reserve the right to call her as a witness.
Okay. You are free to go. You can make the decision whether you want to return to the courtroom tomorrow and hear the rest of the testimony, but you are subject to being recalled as a witness. Thank you. Let's stay and talk for a minute about Dr. Nichols' testimony. You're done. You can go. Thank you. He's available tomorrow all day.
Yes, sir. And I brought this up. We were trying to figure out how long the case would go, and we didn't have a clue. It's even going, I think, a little slower than we anticipated. It was my understanding that we were going to wait order approved. And also, Erin Speck, we got her ticket. She's going to be here on Monday. The Commonwealth's probably not going to be finished by then, so I would ask the court to allow us to call Nichols tomorrow. He's been texting me or emailing me every day. And the last email I got from him is, I've got all day tomorrow free. I'm booked up all next week. And that's why I wanted to raise this. I know it's not a perfect situation, but...
All right, what's the Commonwealth's witness lineup for tomorrow?
We were going to call Detective Stalvey next. We have a couple of CSU people that relate to the search that Detective Stalvey was a part of, and then the lab people that relate to what was collected during that search as well as the original scene. We have Jahira here who was traveled in town.
And she has to go tomorrow.
She has got to leave town. Her employer, we've been on the phone with her employer. She's been here for several days. And so I don't know that, given that list.
What we would like to do is get all those people on and Jahara before we break. I know they would want her on before Erin Speck testifies, because I assume she's an impeachment witness for Jahara.
If left unimpeded by any out-of-order witnesses from the defense, how many more days of proof do you anticipate?
Well, we have 24 potential witnesses, and 7 of them have testified. Now, some of these, like the 2 CSU people, I assume would be 5-10 minutes each. But some, like Mr. Gauker, are going to be quite extensive.
So how many more days?
At least 2.
And Dr. Nichols is booked up all next week.
That's what he told me in his email last night.
What about Monday the 12th?
I guess I'm just relating that that's what he had told me. we communicate pretty much by email. I
Um,
had told him that I thought that we had an agreement that he would testify on Friday, how we last left it.
What is your estimate as to the duration of his direct examination?
I don't think it's going to take a lot of time. It
That was
depends
pretty,
on the
that was pretty
cross-examination.
specific.
I wouldn't think that it would take over half an hour. Pretty
So,
straightforward.
Ms. Smith, you're doing the direct?
Pardon?
You're gonna do the direct, Debbie?
I don't think that
Let's put Nichol, there's a problem, I think, just a problem chronologically in terms of putting the cart before the horse. But we promised we would do it. And in order to accommodate his schedule, we'll do it. And I think if we're gonna put him on tomorrow, we might as well put him on first thing in the morning. Is there any objection to that?
No.
Thank you.
All right, and you all will be ready to cross him tomorrow?
Yes, I will. I think then, looking at that and the,
Or, here's another option. We could do his deposition, video deposition, this weekend sometime.
I prefer to have him testify live.
All right, go ahead.
Because he's got a PowerPoint and everything he needs to show the jury.
can we see that?
Yes. But I don't have it yet. He just told me he was going to bring it. He also said he was going to send me a letter that he never did, but I invited you to call him. He said he would talk to you.
Well, I know he'll talk to me, but I would very much appreciate if you would provide me his materials soon, since evidently he's going to be on in the morning and I need to be ready to cross him. I was going to say that because of all of the other witnesses that we have, we could save the taxpayers some money in uselessly shipping Gauker here and back again, because I don't think that we'll get to him.
Tomorrow.
If we're doing Dr. Nichols,
Well, quite frankly, it's, because the taxpayer quits paying my clerk at 4:30, he's not here to fax the institution to tell them not to bring him, so they're gonna bring him anyway. But they'd be paying those transport officers the same salary
That's
anyway,
true.
so there's really no savings.
okay.
All right, well, we'll expect Dr. Nichols at 9 o'clock in the morning. Try and get his slides and materials to them tonight, if
I'll call
he
him
can.
and try to email him to you.
He can email that directly to them or whatever. Okay, thank you all.
Thanks.
Okay, so do you want me to take the CSU people home since you're going to
If you don't mind.
Did you, do you have the stuff? That's all.
Yes. 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 Yeah, I've got it all here. Okay, sorry.
I gotta use my kids. 45.
Okay, well, let's talk very quickly while we're, do you want to put on tomorrow?
That would make sense. But we have to get her.
I know.
I mean, we can make.
I do too. Okay, then we'll do theirs and then 8, 9, 10. Maybe 14, that would be nice. And we'll have 15 lined up. 16 and 17 on the off chance that things go well.